Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 on this Thursday.
And it's a beautiful day outside.
It is spectacular outside. Nice little breeze. The sun's out.
Feels great.
Enjoy it now.
Yeah.
We'll get to the weather in a minute. First, here's what's making news on this Thursday. A violent crash on Monona Drive sends 5 people, including 2 high school sophomores, to the hospital. Jamie Perez describes what happened. The
drama and the war of words continues in the nation's capital. Speaker Pelosi tells President Trump he needs a family intervention. And cleanup from a dozen tornadoes is underway in Missouri. Yeah, that video is unbelievable. Yeah, really, the damage on there is tragic. Yeah. Let's take a look outside today. Absolutely beautiful afternoon. This is Brittingham Park, which is a great location right on the lake. Yeah. Good place to be today. However, storms return tomorrow, and Dave Caulfield is in the backyard soaking up the sun for now.
Yeah, let's do that while we can, Mark and Susan, because tomorrow the shower and storm chances do increase. It will be rainy throughout the day, periods of rain looking likely for Friday, possibly even into Saturday morning for some of us. Visible cloud track showing those clouds staying to the north of Madison through much of the day, and we are soaking up the blue skies and sunshine in Madison. The WISC-TV Skycam temperatures are in the lower to middle 70s across much of southern Wisconsin. Some of us north and west of Madison are still in the 60s, but it still feels fantastic no matter where you look. Wind speeds have been better today, still a little bit on the breezy side out of the west at about 15 miles per hour, and temperatures will continue to fall through the 70s and 60s pretty quickly tonight under partly cloudy skies before clouds increase tomorrow in advance of those showers and storms. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Seminole Highway and the Beltline, we are showing that slow go on the eastbound side there. And let's take a look at our traffic map. No major accidents or incidents to report, which is good news. Traffic is generally heading out at the posted speeds, but it is an afternoon on the Beltline after all, so we're starting to see those delays pile up on the eastbound side. Verona Road eastbound to John Nolan, that's 15 minutes with an average speed of around 20 miles per hour. And that's your first alert traffic update. We will take a look at the severe weather chances for tomorrow and also the heavy rain chances in your first alert forecast. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. First at 4, 5 people, including 2 high school students, are in the hospital after being injured in a crash last night.
It happened on Monona Drive just before 11 o'clock. Our Jamie Perez joins us live from Monona with what we know so far. Jamie?
All right, well, this is where all of that happened last night. A 16-year-old was driving a gray Chrysler going southbound this way on Monona Drive when another car, a red Honda, was turning left into the Taco John's parking lot here, and that's when they crashed. Police say that the Chrysler was going almost double the speed limit. You can see some of the debris left over and the remnants of the damage from that crash that happened here last night. Police say all 5 people involved are in the hospital and are stable right now. 5 ambulances, firefighters, and EMS crews responded last night shortly after 10:45. Police say some of the victims had to be cut from their car to get them out. I spoke with the chief of the Monona Police Department this afternoon, who tells me the 16-year-olds who were speeding were not wearing seatbelts.
And we're in this big push for click it or ticket. And some of these commercials, I mean, it almost brings tears to your eyes. So it doesn't take much.
Chief Ostrenga also said there will be citations issued once their investigation is complete. The 16-year-olds were sophomores at Monona Grove High School. I did speak with them today. They said that they are offering normal counseling services to any students who may need it.
All right, Jamie, looking at the damage, surprised no one died in that crash. Jamie Perez live in Monona. Thank you.
There is another election for Wisconsin's Supreme Court next spring, and today a Dane County judge announced she will enter the race. Jill Karofsky said in a release she feels the court is becoming too politicized. She's running for the seat currently held by conservative Justice Dan Kelly. State Republican leaders are urging Democratic Governor Tony Evers not to veto their K-12 education plan.
But Evers says the proposal is inadequate, particularly in providing special education funding. Our Rose Schmidt joins us live from the Capitol to explain the debate. Rose?
Yes, well, the state's budget committee passed a nearly $100 million increase today for special education, but that's less than 1/6 of what Governor Tony Evers wants. And he said that it actually doesn't make it so that schools go far enough. Public education supporters rallied here at the Capitol today, asking Governor Evers to veto the plan if he feels it's inadequate. Those advocacy groups say the problem is without enough special education reimbursement from the state, schools have to tap into general funds, hurting other students. The plan passed in the Republican-controlled Joint Finance Committee today increases special education reimbursement by 5% over 2 years. Republican leaders say Evers' proposal is unrealistic and called on him to sign their plan, saying it might be the best he's going to get.
This is a good budget for education, $500 million. Special ed, we increased it for the first time in 8 years. Probably the most important thing is the governor signs it on time, because schools need to know what's going to happen in the next fiscal year.
We do not have enough funding coming from the state and the federal government to cover our legal obligations to serve our children with special needs, and more money from the state would help us do a much better job of serving our children with special needs, and in addition freeing up money in the general fund to serve every child in the Madison School District.
You just heard from Chris Cruzy, a member of the Madison School Board. She tells me in the Madison Metropolitan School District, about $53 million annually is transferred from the general fund to help students with special needs. And now that the Joint Finance Committee has passed that $500 million plan, it will now be part of the budget proposal, which will likely be sent to the full legislature sometime next month.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting live for us from the state capitol. Thank you.
President Trump and congressional Democrats are digging in their heels after a meeting on infrastructure ended abruptly Wednesday. The president continued venting on Twitter today, accusing Democrats of being a do-nothing party. Nicole Killian has more from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggested President Trump may need help.
I wish that his family or his administration or his staff would have an intervention for the good of the country.
Pelosi's comments come after Mr. Trump walked out of a meeting with top Democrats on infrastructure at the White House Wednesday.
As the president spoke for 3 minutes and was very specific about why he was turning around and walking out very calmly.
Republicans slammed the speaker's use of the term cover-up to describe the president's behavior.
If we're serious about solving problems, I think the actions of the speaker were irresponsible.
Democrats say what's irresponsible is shutting down the legislative process.
Infrastructure creates jobs, it helps our country, and I'm really concerned about this president's position and really his temper tantrum when we're dealing with so many important things.
Speaker Pelosi says her caucus is behind her, saying they will not move forward on impeachment until the investigations into the president are complete.
If we can get the facts to the American people through our investigation, it may take us to a place that is unavoidable in terms of impeachment or not. But we're not at that place.
A federal judge on Wednesday ruled in favor of House Democrats seeking the president's financial records from Deutsche Bank and Capital One. And Monday, another judge ruled that Democrats could proceed with a subpoena of the president's records held by his longtime accounting firm. In Washington, Nicole Killian for News 3 Now.
And a hearing has been set for mid-July to hear an appeal about the Mazars USA subpoena, the president's accounting firm.
John Walker Lynn, the California man who took up arms for the Taliban before 9/11, is out of prison after more than 17 years. The 38-year-old American Taliban was released this morning from a federal penitentiary in Indiana under tight restrictions that reflect the government's fears that he still harbors radical views. He was captured on the battlefield in Afghanistan by invading U.S. forces in late 2001.
Missouri is under a state of emergency after more than a dozen violent tornadoes touched down across the state. The Missouri capital took a direct hit when a powerful tornado hit shortly before midnight, tearing roofs off structures. The monster twister that struck Jefferson City was one of several tornadoes that hit the state, leaving behind a debris field about 3 miles wide. Governor Mike Parson surveyed the damage at a car dealership after taking an aerial tour of the city.
A lot of damage, significant damage to a lot of roofs, a lot of homes.
I honestly thought that we were going to lose part of our apartment.
Another tornado swept through Carl Junction about 7 miles north of Joplin, Missouri. A state of emergency, as we said, remains in effect because of flooding concerns.
And 2 barges that broke free in the flooded Arkansas River have hit a dam. The 2 barges loaded with almost 4,000 pounds of fertilizer broke free into the flooded Arkansas River overnight. 600 people who live in Weber's Lake downstream from the dam were evacuated. On Facebook, the town issued an alert telling residents if the dam breaks, it will be catastrophic. Leave now. Crews assessed the damage from a walkway near where the barges are penned up against the dam.
You can see that there's one of them that's kind of wedged up against it. The water's going around it.
Interstate 40 crosses over the Arkansas River. That's been closed almost exactly 17 years ago. A barge hit the bridge, causing part of it to collapse and killing 14 people whose vehicles plunged into the water. On the Cimarron River, rising floodwaters washed away some homes. The storms have claimed at least 7 lives this week.
And if that isn't enough, hurricane season begins next month. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has released its storm predictions. The agency forecast as many as 15 named storms in the Atlantic region, 4 to 8 hurricanes, and 2 to 4 major hurricanes. Officials say new technology and planes will help relay better data while tracking storms.
The whole time we're up there, we're dropping what's called drop-sons. They're about that big, just tubes that we drop out of the back of the aircraft.
The U.S. was slammed with 2 devastating hurricanes last year, Hurricane Florence in the Carolinas and Hurricane Michael in the Florida Panhandle. NOAA says with their improved tracking, they've been able to give more advance warning 5 days out instead of just a couple of days, as has been the case in the past.
That is not an encouraging forecast.
No, it isn't.
Well, still to come at 4, the first big summer holiday, just hours away.
If you're hitting the road this Memorial Day weekend, join the crowd.
If you're heading out of town for the holiday weekend, you won't be alone. I'm Chris Martinez with what to expect as millions of Americans hit the road for Memorial Day.
Welcome back. Tens of millions of Americans will celebrate this Memorial Day weekend away from home.
As Chris Martinez tells us, AAA expects this year to be one of the busiest ever for holiday travelers.
Genesis Soul is filling up her tank before hitting the road to Anaheim to spend the holiday weekend with her family.
It's definitely a drive, and with traffic, like that's easily like a 2-3 hour trip sometimes.
Genesis is one of the nearly 43 million Americans expected to travel over the Memorial Day weekend, the highest number for the holiday since 2005. According to AAA, the vast majority of travelers, more than 37 million, will take to the roads, driving at least 50 miles from home.
We're continuing to hear consumer confidence is increasing. Also, economic growth is looking positive, and that's really prompting a lot of people to plan trips for Memorial Day.
AAA says high fuel costs aren't keeping people at home, even though gas prices have gone up more than 30 cents in the past 2 months.
These long holiday weekends are already times of the year when people will prioritize their money going toward travel so they can spend that quality time with their friends and family.
With so many travelers on the road, drivers should prepare for congested commutes. AAA expects Thursday and Friday will be the busiest days, with most drivers hitting the highways in the late afternoon. And in some cities like New York and Washington, D.C., average delay times could triple. Genesis is ready for a sluggish drive.
Lots of audiobooks, and if that's not enough, then music. I mean, really, it's just like a rotating playlist of please keep me entertained.
A crowded commute, a small price to pay, she says, for a long holiday escape. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, lingering trade wars took their toll on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials dropped 286 points to close at 25,490. The NASDAQ Composite Index plunged 122, and the S&P 500 gave up 34. Well, our annual Hunger Heroes campaign is kicking off right now, and we are asking you to pitch in and help make sure that kids here in Madison stay fed this summer.
We have volunteers standing by here in the studio to take your donations. Hello, everybody. Thank you for your help today. They would like to talk to you, so call now. The number is 274-4000, and you can make a donation until 6:30 tonight. You know, you don't normally think about the need for a food pantry in the summer months, but demand at the Goodman Community Center's food pantry actually goes up 15% during the summer.
That means hundreds more will turn to that resource for help over the next few months. Our Danica Lewis is live at the Goodman Center this afternoon with a special announcement for our Hunger Heroes push. Hi, Danica.
Well, hi there, Mark and Susan. Before we get to that special announcement, I just want to give you an idea and show you the new food pantry space over here at Goodman. If you've ever been here before, it was maybe about a third of this size. We have all this space now thanks to a bunch of construction that's going on here. But you know what that means? We have more shelves to fill, so more donations need to come in. And we have a very special guest with us today. Lee Culver is here from the Culver Foundation. Hello. As you can imagine, Culver's Restaurants. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's always fun to come to Goodman's because they do amazing things here.
We were talking about just how many new things we both encounter every time we come here. What did you learn this time around?
There's a lot of construction still going on, and I'd seen it earlier, but still, that's so many things going on, so many new opportunities.
So we were just talking about how great the need is for food pantries and food resources during the summer months when maybe not as many people are donating. So why Goodman, and why is this cause important to you and your family?
You know, for most of my life, I've been serving food to people, and at our restaurants, of course. And I think there comes a time when, you know, you have to look at those who aren't able to come to restaurants, who don't have that ability. And so looking into the community and seeing where people really do need us to come to them is really important. And I work with Goodman's. I've known a lot of the staff here for quite a while, and it seems like every program they start, every program I hear about turns out to be so awesome. And so it's really a gift to be able to partner with them.
What do you think about this new space? Did you get to visit the old pantry at all?
Yes, I did. The space is amazing, and you know, there's a few shelves empty. I understand today was pickup day, but look forward to seeing it all filled again and then emptied again. So it's a wonderful place.
So we want to let people know about something very special the Culver's Foundation is doing for the Hunger Heroes Telethon. Tell us a little about that.
Okay, we've got a $5,000 match, Culver's is, and the reason I do that, I think everybody wants to do something that they're proud of that helps another person. They don't always know where to start, and this is an opportunity for them to be generous, to pitch in either with food goods or monetary donations so that Goodman's can go out and buy the food. And if everybody works together, I think we can match that $5,000 and really make a big difference in the kitchen here.
All right, so you just heard it straight from the horse's mouth here. Lee Culver is going to be matching, with the help of the Culver's Foundation, $5,000 worth of donations. The number again, 274-4000, 274-4000. All you have to do out there is call that number and make a donation. You can bring some food here as well, as Lee mentioned. I mean, look at all these empty shelves. We got plenty of space here to fill. And again, this was collection day, so get that help coming. $5,000 match. We thank you for being a part of this so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and I will send it back to you guys, but get those donations in, folks. $5,000 match.
That is exciting news. So if you donate 10, it's worth 20.
Yeah.
20's worth 40s.
Thank you, Danica, and to Lee Culver as well.
274-4000 is the number to call, and we'll be on the phones until 6:30, so call in and call now to get that Culver's match.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Take a look at this. A prototype of a Romanian flying saucer-like aircraft took to the skies in its first test flight a decade after its original concept was developed. Named a DIFO, or all-directional flying object, the prototype can change its direction and angle in midair, and with great agility, it can even fly upside down. Experts say a craft like this could truly revolutionize aviation. The team behind the craft say it could be applied to both manned and unmanned aircraft, and they're hoping to test out full-size models in the future. Cue the UFO report.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was just thinking.
It's kind of cool, though.
So it feels crisp outside. It almost feels like a little bit like fall.
Yeah, thanks to that front that came through last night. The humidity is down. It feels fantastic with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. But those higher dew points and the stickier air coming back tomorrow, we actually have a risk for some heavy rain into Saturday morning. We'll talk about that in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes. Good afternoon. I hope you had a terrific Thursday so far. And with the sunshine, low humidity, temperatures near 70, it's a near perfect day across southern Wisconsin. It has been beautiful outside. Less beautiful just to the south and west, where another day in the plains, another day of tornado watches and warnings, severe thunderstorms across portions of Kansas, tornadoes in the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle. And some of that activity will head closer to us in southern Wisconsin as we head into later tonight. And for much of Friday, we do have the risk of some severe weather of our own, a slight risk of severe weather. That's level 2 out of 5 for much of southern Wisconsin. For the areas you see shaded in yellow, a slightly less chance of storms, I should say. Lower risk. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Just to the north in spots like the Dells and Baroqua. So we do have an alert day in the forecast for the showers and thunderstorms that will come through during the afternoon and evening hours. We also could see another round come through during the overnight hours into early Saturday. So multiple waves of rain and storms on the way for tomorrow. We could see some hail and gusty damaging winds for tomorrow. Also some heavy rain into the early morning hours of Saturday. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. No rain right now, though, on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. No clouds, in fact. We're looking at really just wall-to-wall sunshine in this part of Grant County. Also in Dayton County on the Edgewater Skycam overlooking Madison. It's tough to get a better picture than that, especially for late May. Today's high of 70, right around where we should be for this time of year. Typically, our highs are in the lower 70s, and that's where we find our temperatures in Monroe right now. In Janesville, it's 73 degrees, 71 in Watertown, still in the upper 60s in Boscobel, but still feeling very pleasant outside. Wind speeds out of the west and northwest after that front came through, so that's helping with the semi-drier air and the more comfortable air, but it has been a little bit on the breezy side today, not as windy as we have been. So that's another big difference in how nice it feels outside. Still, that wind gusting over 20 miles per hour for some of us. So let's take a look at our future track. This is our high resolution model. It really helps us pin down what's going to happen over the next 24 hours or so. It helps us to see these possible severe storms a little bit better than some of our other forecast models. So we should have a round of showers and maybe a few thunderstorms come through early tomorrow morning. Not expecting to be these to be really all that strong, but maybe a downpour or two possible as that round comes through. Maybe even a secondary round coming through around noon, similar deal with showers and thunderstorms, but then some strong to severe storms later on in the afternoon and the evening hours, and some of these could have heavy rain. You see some shades of red and orange on there. Heavy rain possible. We have a slight risk, and for some of us, a moderate risk of excessive rainfall on Friday into early Saturday. What's happening here is the setup is that we have very high moisture values, especially for this time of year. So really, if any storms can get going tomorrow, they will rain, and they will rain hard for a period of time. So we'll be watching that closely, and so an alert day in the forecast for a variety of reasons on Friday. As we head into Saturday, a slight chance of showers and storms for that day as well. But for the rest of Memorial Day weekend, on Sunday, we're looking nice and dry. Could have a few showers returning for Memorial Day on Monday. Temperatures staying in the 70s for much of the, actually all of the next 10 days, and we will be pretty close to normal during this stretch as well, but it's another unsettled weather stretch with storm chances in the forecast from Monday through Friday, basically, of next week in some capacity. So that is a look at your forecast, but at least the weekend, Mark and Susan, is looking okay, especially on Sunday.
Tomorrow, though, that's the thing. All right. It is almost the holiday weekend in the 608s.
Emmy Fink is here with a look at what's going on around town this weekend. Hi, Emmy. We get an extra day to have some fun.
We sure do. Those holiday weekends, they're just a little bit, you know.
A little extra day.
I got a little
a little spring in your step.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we got a group coming to town called Grammy?
Grammy.
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 Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it says right here.
That's the N right there. This is a great opportunity for an extra night out. So the concert ensemble, like Mark said, Grammy, plays a lively hybrid of classical and bluegrass. Now, I was practicing this. Grass. High five. I did it without swearing. The toe-tapping result from this 5-piece all-string band can be heard live Friday at the Brink Lounge. They're having their release party, and their new CD is also titled Live at the Brink. What a cool shout-out to the event venue. The band features Chris Wagoner on fiddle and then Mary Gaines on cello. Again, that's 7:30 on Friday.
Oh, that's great. And then there's another band on Friday sort of competing for your attention.
Exactly. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to go see? The Snarky Puppy.
That's a great name.
I mean, it might intrigue you a little bit right there. They're a Brooklyn-based fusion-influenced jam band. Now, they're a 3-time Grammy-winning group. There's 25 musicians that make up this band. About 12 of them will perform at a time. And they released their latest studio album called Immigrants in March. You can see them Friday night at the Orpheum.
Snarky Puppy.
I love it.
Puppies can't be snarky, right? They're too cute to be.
You've got one.
Yeah, that can be at times.
Little attitude there.
All right, what if you want to get a little more activity in your life?
If you want to get your heart pumping, maybe, that's a good thing. SSM Health brings us Run MADTOWN. It's a 2-day event, Saturday, Twilight 5 and 10K. Which is a kids race, which is so cool to get the kids out running at night. It's a really cool option for them. Kids ages 3 to 12. They get a t-shirt, a medal, and some chocolate milk. For the more serious runners, Sunday is the half marathon. I doubt that one finishes with some chocolate milk, but maybe. This one starts and finishes at the Capitol Square.
What time at night do they take off?
Oh, 6:30, I think.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, a nice time. But up that hill, up at the Capitol, one time did I do a half marathon, and that hill is brutal.
It's a killer.
Yeah, it is.
It's brutal.
Well, you can burn off all those brats because it's Brat Fest this weekend.
You can. And how many have you guys eaten at a sitting? A lot?
2?
Me too. I think maybe 2, maybe 3. It's the big outdoor Madison music event taking place this and every Memorial Day weekend, and of course, the world's largest Brat Fest. Lots of sports options if that's your thing. Like Susan said, maybe burn off some calories. A 5 and 10K, a run mile, 1 mile run on Saturday morning. There's disc golf. There's Bratty Ball, which is volleyball with a little new name. Human foosball, a huge kid zone, some carnival rides, but it's the music that brings 100 local and touring acts to town. So there's 4 stages. There's a rock and metal stage, a country stage, Latin and Christian stages. And there's going to be so many good people. There's Smash Mouth, there's Randy Houser, there's Steve Adler of Guns N' Roses, of course Wheelhouse, Katie Scullin, in Madison County, one of my favorite local ones as well. So.
And we're not brought it out yet.
I'm not.
No.
No.
Because we had another one.
Another one, that's right. It's the big alternative to the granddaddy event of them all. It's the annual, there we go, the Worst Times Festival, the Big Brother. The 35 Madison bands will be on 5 stages, and this takes place at the High Noon Saloon, the Brink Lounge, and the Brass Ring, their complex over there on East Washington. The lineup includes the North Code, Joe Price, The Cost, Civil Engineers, just to name a few. But just like Brat Fest, this one also goes to benefit so many great causes. Badger Honor Flight, as we're talking about Memorial Day weekend, such a great way to give back. And go get a good couple of meals.
11 a.m. to midnight on Sunday.
You got it.
11 a.m. Brats for brunch.
The weather looks good, too.
Can I fly my flag?
Yes. You certainly can.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday weekend.
Thank you, guys. Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Yes, let's remember those who gave their lives
That's
for our
right.
country.
Sure.
That's what it's all about, actually.
Absolutely.
Get this month's Madison Magazine for all the best in the Madison area.
When we come back, we're heading to the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee.
The Bucks are getting ready for Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Our Kevin Lewis has a live preview from Milwaukee when Live at 4 continues. And our second annual Hunger Heroes campaign is underway. We're asking you to pitch in and help make sure that kids in the Madison area stay fed this summer. We have volunteers standing by here in the studio to take your donations.
The number to call, 274-4000, and you can call until 6:30 tonight. And thanks for all of your help. It is Game 5 tonight of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals.
Milwaukee and Toronto are tied at 2 games each. Our Kevin Lewis is at the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee with a preview. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Mark and Susan. Just to warn you before we get started with our conversation, if they cut the lights or do the club music or something, they're doing all the sound and video testing before, so do not be alarmed if all of a sudden we fade to black and have loud noises. I have not seen Drake at the Pfizer Forum. No one has seen his body yet, so if he does show up, you know what's going to happen on the internet. It's probably going to break. The rumor floating around is that 5 figures, Mark and Susan. If you want to come to the game and sit courtside, you can get tickets. So zip on over after Live at 4 and get those. And you know he's going to be topic of discussion. But the Bucks, not technically a must-win, but they really good idea to win tonight in Game 5. 83% of teams that win Game 5 in a best of 7 go on to win the series and advance to the NBA Finals.
So who are we watching tonight?
Well, we've been watching Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kawhi Leonard, but it's been the supporting cast for Toronto that's gotten them back in the series. In Game 4, Norman Powell, Serge Ibaka, and Fred VanVleet were huge off the bench, and they outplayed Milwaukee's bench. Chris Middleton said after Game 4, when he was asked, oh, what did Toronto get to do on offense? Where did you not stop them? And he listed every area of the court. So the Bucks said they have to play better team defense if they want to get Game 5 here at the Pfizer Forum.
Being at home really gives them some momentum, though, doesn't it, Kevin?
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. They say kind of series pick up when a road team steals one on another team's home court, and the Bucks have had a home court advantage pretty much all season long. They've only lost back-to-back games twice all year, haven't done it here. So we'll see, if the Bucks can hold home court like they think they can, because they say their confidence hasn't wavered at all, and Giannis said he feels no pressure. They just have to keep up the good habits that they've kept all season that have gotten them this far.
Going to the away games, do we know? I guess we'll have to wait and see tonight, right?
I didn't hear you, Susan.
Oh, my mic's not on.
All right. Kevin, thank you. Tip-off, 7:30 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Kevin, my microphone wasn't on. Sorry about that.
No, Drake might have gotten in the studio and cut the wires there, but it was 7:30 tonight on TNT.
Probably.
All right, 7:30, as Kevin said.
Making his way through Wisconsin.
TNT. Thank you. When we come back, we'll meet this month's top-notch teacher.
She is a special education teacher in Watertown who has a very special connection with her students. We'll have that when Live at 4 continues.
Good afternoon. Here is your Thursday First Alert traffic update, taking a live look at Seminole Highway and the Beltline. Westbound not looking bad at all, but eastbound looking quite slow at the present time. Average speeds on the Beltline anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour through Verona Road and Park Street, closer to Rimrock Road. Stoughton Road not looking too bad right now, and Verona Road speeds are down to about 25 miles per hour as you head south. So here is a look at your drive times. Westbound John Nolan to Verona Road, 8 minutes, so a little bit slow at 35 miles per hour. And eastbound University Ave to the interstate, that'll cost you a half hour right now with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. And that's your First Alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you. Are you still looking for someplace to go this summer? You might want to head here. Oahu's Kailua Beach in Hawaii. The sandy shore has just been named the best beach in the United States by Dr. Beach. Stephen Leatherman, a coastal scientist and professor at Florida International University, has been drafting his annual list under the alias Dr. Beach since 1991. Leatherman uses 50 criteria to evaluate beaches, with the most important categories being water cleanliness and safety and management of the beach environment and its facilities. He also looks for powdery, soft white sand, something in abundance here.
That is beautiful.
Get away for that.
Well, reaching independence through structured education, also known as RISE, is a program that's being used at an elementary school in Watertown.
Charlotte Deleste is here to introduce us to this month's top-notch teacher. She looks very special.
Oh, this is fantastic. So like many teachers that we have interviewed, Allie Keller can't imagine not being a teacher. And with a personal belief that all her students are capable, it's just a matter of giving them the opportunity to learn the way they need to. It just skims the water of why she is truly top-notch.
Push, push. Good job. Bicycles and balls. They're the activities of choice for Allie Keller students.
Keep going.
Allie is a special education teacher for all the kids with significant disabilities at Schurz Elementary in Watertown.
There's so many obstacles that these kids have to overcome, and I just look at these families and I say, we're going to figure out and we're going to do it together.
And she means that. Getting over those obstacles is something she and her team have been working on together for 8 years.
I think it's really important to give kids the opportunity to learn the way that they need to learn. In my classroom, we like to call it fun and functional. Caterpillar!
Here, the kids are pretending to be a caterpillar that turns into a beautiful butterfly. Fun, right? But little do they know, they're working on fine and gross motor movement. That's the functional part.
I guess I'm really passionate about working with families and making the children successful and independent as much as they can be. Avery, can you find chocolate chips?
For the past 2 years, Allie's students have been running their own bakery business at school called Coffee Cart. On Thursdays, they bake.
Can you scoop that all in there?
On this day, they're making chocolate chip banana muffins. They'll go around to all the teachers and ask if they'd like a baked good and a drink. The next morning, they put all the orders together and deliver them.
For kids with significant disabilities, any little thing that they do is a huge accomplishment. When I see one of my students meet their goals, it brings me so much joy. And put it in. Good job. I can't even tell you. Yes. Yes. We worked on that for 4 years.
Ultimately, it's about life skills.
My hopes for my students are for them to be active community members and to be happy and to live fulfilled lives like everyone else. I want them to be like everyone else.
That's right. Just like her Uncle Greg, who was born with developmental delays and found a way to thrive.
I guess I am very passionate, and I do want to make a difference in the world. And I want my kids, when they leave my room every day, to know that they are loved and that they are worth something and that they can do it. And I'm going to take them out.
And with Allie's determination, there's no doubt her students, past, present, and future, will go through a transformation of sorts and discover how beautifully capable they truly are.
I always say, once you're a Keller kid, you're a Keller kid for life.
Good job,
Josie. You're on fire. High five. I'm really proud of you.
Allie, yes, you did it. Congratulations. If you would like to nominate an outstanding teacher for part of our top-notch teacher program, just head to our website, channel3000.com, and click on the Education tab.
Once a Kelly kid, always a Kelly kid.
Uh-huh. She's just fantastic.
Yeah.
She needs to stay there forever.
I love the coffee cart. That is such a great idea.
And the kids they just beam with pride because it's theirs.
Yeah,
you know, it's something that
exactly.
they're doing. They make all the stuff.
Accomplish something?
Yeah, it's huge. And the teachers love it too.
Yeah, it's
so.
fabulous.
Good for her. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Great story.
Welcome.
We'll be right back. Enjoy this evening.
Yeah, because the rain showers return tomorrow. Actually, even later tonight, some of us could see those showers and storms start to filter in. 70 right now, though, absolutely gorgeous with a dew point of 48, northwest wind at 14. So it still feels crisp outside, even though those temperatures are reading 70 still for many of us. Tonight, temps falling into the lower 50s, becoming mostly cloudy with thunderstorms developing as we head into tomorrow. Some storms could be strong to severe and offer some heavy rain as well.
I love that shot of the lake. It's
Yeah.
so pretty. Wow. All right, thank you, Dave. Tomorrow on Live at 4, we'll preview this weekend's Memorial Day concert in the nation's capital.
And Mamma Mia, Michael Bruno heads to the Palace Theater in the Dells to check out the ABBA musical. We'll be right back.
In today's Final Touch, a Utah couple's baby photo shoot is going viral.
They're sending a message to overbearing parents.